Welcome back, everyone, to another What If. Now, it's been a while, so let's get to it. What if Deku was reincarnated in the Mesozoic era? Part 5. Let's get started. Okay, so we start off right after Izuku was told that, after Izuku told Nori that he was ready to join the UA colony. As Nori says, good. But first, as he pushes the rocks aside, he says, I need to tell you something. As Izuku says, yeah, what is it? Wagging his tail. And Nori says, it's about how come I can do this. As Nori flexes he basically flexes, and his air sacs above his eyebrows basically form into more of the All Might hair. As he says, how I can do this? As he goes on to explain, well, it's quite hard to explain, but if you, are born with the genes of a main elder, then you will have the genome in order to become muscular. And I don't mean the villain, more like very muscular, very strong, okay? Okay. Sorry. As Izuku says, whoa, really? But I'm not a dreadnoughtus or something. As Nori says, yeah, but there is another way for carnivores. As Izuku says, what, really? As Nori says, if you look for a lizard like this, as he basically shows a picture on the rocks of a lizard that resembles a monitor lizard, but with spikes running down its back and 2 rows of teeth in its mouth. You have to search for a lizard like this. As Izuku says, okay, I'll search for one. As Izuku turns around and runs off to search for a lizard, as Nori says, I'm proud of you, fanboy. 5 minutes later, Izuku is still roaming through the forest, trying to find this lizard that he's looking for. And eventually, he finds tracks of its bigger cousin. What I mean is, he finds bigger footprints, sorry. As Izuku comes across a larger lizard. As Izuku says, there it is. As Izuku's stalking closer and closer, ready to catch the lizard. As finally, he comes out of the bushes and opens his jaws wide, catching the lizard before it can escape. As the lizard squeals in pain and Izuku says, sorry, but I have to do this. As Izuku basically eats the lizard. 5 minutes pass by, and Izuku is running back towards Nori, while Nori is pushing some rocks just to get him, more stronger. As Nori says, Izuku, did you find the lizard? As Izuku says, yeah, I might have eaten it, As Nori says, that's the whole idea. To make yourself stronger, you have to eat the lizard. But for me, my ancestors had to eat a specific kind of plant. And it's also rumored to come out the corpse of a dead lizard like that. As Izuku says, that's just plain gross. As Nori says, sorry. As he basically says, anyway, let's get to the colony. As Izuku runs off in the same direction where All Might's walking. As they finally make it, nothing special, a mountainside in a weird H-like shape. As Izuku's walking there, he ends up tripping over a log. Before he can fall, he's managed to get, held up by a familiar... Well, Izuku is pushed up back again, and Izuku says, wow, thank you. And it's Uraka again. Yep, he got saved by Uraka. As Uraka says, oh, sorry, I saw you were gonna fall, and you did, but I caught you. I'll be going. As Izuku says, no, wait. As Uraka says, yeah, what is it? As Izuku says, I want to thank you for saving me from falling. As Uraka says, you're welcome. Now come on, we're gonna be late. As Izuku says, all right, I'm going. As we cut to a certain Ankylosaur's point of view and says, the nerd will pay for what he did. As he's going into the, mountainy area, or the UA colony. As we skip, say, 2 days after, Izuku is going to the UA colony again. Yeah, in this, they don't need to have to do tests or anything, like fighting robots, since they're dinosaurs now. They don't have to rely on smarts. They don't have to rely on training. But I just made Izuku train, but forget about that. Well, it is, in the story, training. But you're gonna have to learn to become stronger very quick before you'll get eaten in the Mesozoic. Anyway, as one day Izuku's walking into the caverns of the UA colony's cave, and he finally finds a room, a roomy cave, filled with other dinosaurs. As Izuku walks into a huge open space, wondering, are giants living in here? As he sees a blue-headed Gallimimus squawking towards a blondish, red, black, little bits of green in it, and Ankylosaur just sitting on a lump of rock. As this Gallimimus says, how dare you lie down in this very room? We're supposed to make a first, and I mean first impression, and now you're disrespecting this place already? As this Ankylosaur says, did your old herd stick a bone up your... And then he looks to see Izuku. As Izuku says, Katsuki. Katsuki says, deku. As this blue Gallimimus turns around to say, as he sees the green T-Rex that took the elder. As he says, You're... As Izuku says, what? Big? As he basically says, I'm gonna sit down. Yeah. As he's entering the room, fireflies or bioluminescent algae is starting to glow. To Izuku's shock, Uraka's in the same cave with him. As Izuku slightly blushes, Uraka does the same thing. As more dinosaurs come in, a small purple Pachycephalosaurus, which is a bit, how should I say it? A pervert. Yeah. An Edmontosaurus that basically tries to make tools and stuff and items. A dromaeosaur or Dakotaraptor with feathers that resemble earjacks. And finally, an ankylosaur with vines at the end of its tail holding a club, which the original club had been taken off. That's right, this is Scorch, aka Kirishima. Yeah, as Kirishima is a little scared of the T-Rex that bit his tail, and the other dinosaurs in the, small cave openings is also nervous around the two T-Rexes, as finally they hear someone slither by. As he says, you finally arrived. Let's get going. As Izuku says, who's there? As the algae brightens up as if it's morning. Well, it is, but the bioluminescent algae lights up to see a snake of not so big size, but big enough to get a T-Rex nervous. Like a teenage T-Rex. As this snake rears up and, this snake has a black head and a somehow yellow body. Well, it had a yellow body originally, but it uses its old shedded skin as a sleeping bag of sorts. Yep, this is Aizawa. Aizawa got reincarnated into the earliest of Titanoboa, which is not originally okay, since Titanoboa appeared long after the dinosaurs went extinct. But I'm gonna say the earliest Titanoboa started evolving in the Mesozoic. Sorry for all my dinosaur nerds out there. I am so sorry. But I always thought that Aizawa would work well with a snake, because if I use somehow a cephalopod, it wouldn't work because he'll dry up and die. But anyway, back to the story. As he says, now let's get going. You're gonna need to get your strengths tested. As Izuku says, okay. As, they head outside the cave and, into a wide field of sorts, as this snake slithers on by and says, all right, you all, you're gonna need your quirks. Yeah, let's say he accidentally said quirks, as all the dinosaurs' eyes widened in shock, as this snake says, I mean strengths tested. As everyone's eyes started to relax, as he says, now, you, T-Rex, looking over to see Izuku. As Izuku says, Me? As the snake says, yes, you. How far can you throw this? As he pulls up a branch from behind him using his tail. As Izuku says, I'm not sure, I haven't thrown one of those in a while. As the snake says, well, give it your best shot at it. As Izuku grabs the branch and throws it, as he says, judging from my vision, I have to say 50, how should I say this? 500 meters. As everyone say, wow, he's strong. As Uraka says, while blushing a bit, so strong. As the salamander comes by and says, so, how's that sleepover? As Uraka says, good. It's just, can't stop thinking about him. As the snake says, I can hear you talking. Quiet down. As he looks over to see the ankylosaur with blondish colors and red eyes and say, you. Ankylosaur? As this ankylosaur says, yeah, what is it? As he pulls up a branch, well, not a branch, but a tree of sorts, and he says, tail whack it with full force. As this ankylosaur says, my pleasure. Now, I forgot to tell you the reason why I made Bakugo an ankylosaur, because I thought the gauntlets would go good with his tail club, because I can pretty sure can see grenades as a tail club on a dinosaur's end of the tail. But let's just say when Bakugo's an adult in this, he's gonna have gauntlet-shaped, like, wrists. Like, his legs will be, armored. We're getting off track. Let's continue on. As, he tail whacks with such explosive power, he basically creates a miniature shockwave when he impacts the tree. The tree is sliced in half, as the snake says, I guess about 70 knots. As one of the dinosaurs say, wait, you didn't extend the S on the knots? As this snake says, I'm gonna ignore that. Now, who's next? As everyone gets their turns, and unfortunately, the purple Pachycephalosaurus is the weakest out of all of them. As this Pachy says, wait, I can do better. Please, give me a second chance. As this snake says, there is no second chances. As this snake curls his tail around the Pachycephalosaur, as this Pachycephalosaur says, can you not? Ow! As this snake's basically crushing him, as he says, I didn't get to eat anything this morning. So, as the dinosaurs are just watching in shock as this snake opens its jaws wide and is about to clamp down onto the Packy as a giant golden sauropod walks by and says, "Silver Shadow," as this snake says, Nori, why are you here?" As Izuku notices Nori in his flexing position and he says, "You're not supposed to do that here." As Silver Shadow, aka Aizawa, he says, "Now listen here, Nori. I didn't get to eat anything, and I noticed this little pest is bugging the other dinosaurs." As one of the dinosaurs, a purple Dakota raptor with feathers as if they're earjacks, says, "Yeah, he's true. I caught him one time trying to, well, go on my leg and do something." As one of the dinosaurs, I'm gonna change Momo's reincarnation from an Edmontosaurus to a Quetzalcoatlus. Why? Because I can. As this Quetzalcoatlus says, "Oh, that's gross," about to puke. As this blonde Ankylosaur says, "Hey, if you want to get rid of pest, get rid of the green T-Rex." As this golden air-sacked, flexing sauropod says, "That's not nice. You should be respectful. In fact, we've got a respectful member in this colony." As everyone turns around to see the Triceratops with a scorch mark on the side of his face stretching down to his frill. As everyone says, "Him?" As the Triceratops walks over to the green T-Rex and says, "Thank you. If you hadn't been there, my dad would have scarred me again, given me many rakes in the past." "Yeah," Izuku says, "You're welcome." As this purple Pachycephalosaurus says, all this isn't touching at all, but can you let me go?" As the snake says, "Why would I let you go if you're gonna bug the females in the colony?" As this purple Packy says, "Please spare me." As this snake says, "A snake has gotta eat." Yeah, I'm gonna add in a lot of gore in it. Yeah, since most of these characters are distantly related or not related at all, because yeah. This snake basically just eats the Pachycephalosaurus. Well, Silver Shadow, not Silver Shadow. Silver Sliver, yeah. As everyone just watches in horror as that goes down. As 3 weeks pass by, as this snake has been teaching them many lessons about how to survive in the world and how to become a valley protector. Basically a dinosaur's equivalent of, well, a pro hero. As one day, this snake slivers into the cave with everyone sitting in their places. As this snake says, right on time. Well done, students." as this snake, using its already shedded skin as a sleeping bag of sorts, as this snake says, I want to inform you, we're going to go into an uncharted territory called Canada. As everyone says, woo, Canada, yeah. As this snake says, hold up. But I'll have to use one of you guys' plumage for cover because snakes cannot survive the cold. As everyone says, aw, great. As this golden-haired sauropod says, Silver Shadow, that has been moved for about another 2 weeks. Yeah. As this black Titanoboa says, I don't care, we're not gonna do that. As this snake says, all right, get ready for the journey. As this goldenish sauropod says, I think you didn't hear us right. We're actually going to South America. Sorry, I should say that. Why did I say Canada? Anyway, pretend I said not Canada. Pretend I said South America. Okay. As everyone gets onto a migrating position as they go off to South America. It took them many, and I mean many days, but now they're there.